The Coyote Twin, Vermilion's downtown theater. Providing entertainment Thursdays through Sundays.
Tonight, professionals show off their work in their fields of study.
We'll have that and more coming up. Coyote News starts right now.
Live from the Al Newharth Media Center, this is Coyote News.
President Donald Trump is delaying tariffs for most nations for the next 90 days. Welcome to Coyote News. I'm Jacob Pierce.
And I'm Xander Holt. We'll get to that story in a moment, but first, demonstrations across the country drew crowds last weekend to protest Trump administration policies and Elon Musk's involvement in the federal government. Coyote News' Nathan DeGriff has details on a protest in Pierre.
Dozens gathered on Saturday in front of the Capitol building in Pierre as part of the hands-off movement taking place throughout the country.
This is a 50501 protest. It's part of a national protest association. It's grassroots. And we're just protesting everything the administration is doing, just specifically the hands-off protests.
There were over 1,200 rallies varying in size on Saturday throughout the nation, including ones in Sioux Falls, Rapid City, Brookings, and Pierre.
Pretty much everyone here has either directly or indirectly been affected by this administration, and we're showing up and saying that we're not going to take it lying down.
Issues voiced from the crowd included the mass firing of federal workers, immigration, tariffs, and cuts to federal programs.
I'm in the medical sector. I'm a medical research scientist, and we lost some funding in the last week, and it's just going to be a domino effect from here on everything.
For Coyote News, I'm Nathan DeGriff.
Government programs undergoing recent cuts include the Food and Drug Administration, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, and Centers for Medicare and Medicaid. Dakota governors met with a Native American tribe to discuss federal funding. South Dakota Governor Larry Roden and North Dakota Governor Kelly Armstrong met with leaders of the Standing Rock Sioux Tribe on Monday. The reservation straddles North Dakota and South Dakota, which overlaps jurisdiction in both states and the federal government. The current federal spending cuts threaten several services in Indian country, including programs that support public education, healthcare, and law enforcement. Both governors shared their concerns about the cuts. Roden defended the Trump administration's actions, calling them necessary to bring federal spending under control.
A tuition rate increase could leave some students in deeper debt. The South Dakota Board of Regents announced a 2.9% tuition increase at nearly all public universities for the upcoming academic year. BOR President Tim Rave says that South Dakota's public universities remain among the most affordable in the nation. The increase reflects their goal of keeping costs as low as possible while still providing an accessible, high-value education for students. Prior to the increase, BOR rates had remained nearly flat for the last 5 years. The stock market suddenly soared before closing bell after President Trump announced a 90-day pause on tariffs. Coyote News' Kylie Parisian is live in the muck with Coyote Capital Management to discuss how their student group is handling the latest news. Kylie?
Thanks, Jacob. I'm here with Carson Knudsen. Carson, you're a part of Coyote Capital Management. It's a student-run organization. What's all involved for those who are a member of it?
Yeah, definitely. So Coyote Capital Management is a student-ran investment fund, and we manage altogether about $4.3 million on a good day of the stocks across 3 different portfolios. We have the foundation, the deans, and then the students. All are student-ran, though.
And how do you guys manage to make your decisions when you're operating and running these tariffs, especially when the economy is shifting?
Yeah, definitely. So currently there is a lot of turmoil and volatility in the stock market. It doesn't affect our stocks too much. The foundation requires that we have an 100-year horizon, so we're not worried about the next 100 days. We're more so worried about 100 years. But we definitely keep all this into account, and when the market's low, we may buy, and that process is just we have senior analysts who get promoted, and then they vote on buys, and people pitch their stocks and stuff like that.
And then you recently came back from a trip from New York. What was that experience like, and what did you learn that you can take back to campus?
Yeah, definitely. I can't thank the Beacom School of Business enough. It was a wonderful experience. We got to meet with an alumni who worked at Goldman Sachs. He kind of taught us all the ins and outs of working on Wall Street. And then we got to meet with some other alumni more recently out of college who kind of just taught us a lot about, switching from life in school to life post-graduation. And then we got to go to this game conference, the General Asset Management Education Forum. And there was a lot of great people speaking there. The owner of the Atlanta Hawks was speaking. It was just a lot of like-minded business students as well who you can speak off of and learn.
And what has been the most beneficial thing that you learned being a part of this organization?
I think the thing I learned the most, honestly, you can learn a lot about stocks, you can learn a lot about business, but just being a professional and learning how to communicate and how to gel together with a group of people. I think that's it.
Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
Live from the Mug for Coyote News, I'm Kylie Parisian.
Thanks, Kylie. Students are welcome to join Coyote Capital Management regardless of major or experience.
Charlie's Cupboard is an organization that has been doing its best to tackle student food shortages and other supplies for a number of years at USD. Located in the Continuing Education building, the pantry opens its doors weekly to help students facing food insecurity. Students can get a number of food items as well as personal care products. Hector Gallardo Duarte volunteers weekly for the organization.
Every week, on average, 180 to 200 students use Charlie's Cupboard a week, and that's spread out over 2 days during the week. Mondays, we're open 2:30 to 6, and then every Thursday, 4 to 6.
The pantry provides foods ranging from fresh produce, cereal, milk, meat products, and a variety of other everyday snacks. Charlie's Cupboard is open twice a week and is free for students with their university ID.
Preparing for life after college can be daunting. The Office of Research and Sponsored Programs, or ORSP, is working to make the transition out of college easier. I visited one of the events to find out how they're lessening the so-called fear of graduation, or FOG.
This year, ORSP introduced University Research Week to USD. This week-long event is designed to give students the opportunity to show off what they have been working on in their own fields of study. To start the week off, ORSP hosted a 2-day-long event called Idea Fest, where students could hear professionals in their field and workshop hands-on experience. Lindsay Perry says that Idea Fest offers opportunities for all students, regardless of their field.
We have panels, we have creative scholarship, we will have music performances in the ballroom, just a wide variety of different types of scholarship. It's a really exciting event.
Yesterday, ORSP gave out awards to presenters and had a raffle for those who attended. Perry says that ORSP is very pleased with the student participation and hopes the event keeps bringing in more students so that they can prepare for their future.
You're taking those skills that you have learned within the research and creative scholarship realm, and you're going to be able to apply that everywhere else. You're going to be able to say, I have started and ended a project. I have contributed to this wider breadth of knowledge in doing these things.
For Coyote News, I'm Jacob Pierce.
University Research Week continues tomorrow with a keynote speaker from the School of Health and Sciences.
Students can get a free professional headshot next Wednesday. USD Marketing will be taking the portraits on the second floor of the MUC from 1 to 3. Students often use their headshots on social media to enhance their professional brand. Before the photo shoot, there's also an optional resume building workshop at the Center for Career and Life Design beginning noon in MUC 211A. Buildings across campus are beginning to cool down. University Facilities Management started shutting down building heating systems today. Their goal is to have all of the heating systems shut down and cooling systems turned on in all buildings by the end of the day on next Friday. In the meantime, buildings may experience some temperature fluctuations during this time. Those with questions or concerns can contact the Facilities Management Work Order Desk. Coming up, instruments from a museum collection made their way to the stage. You're watching Coyote News.
The University of South Dakota's Department of Media and Journalism.
You're never gonna know.
Fostering students' talent and creativity through the art of filmmaking. Share your stories. Bring your ideas to life. Discover your passion. Find your voice.
This is Coyote News.
An afternoon full of smiles and watermelon splatters helped a fraternity raise money for charity. Coyote News' Addie Sporliter has the story.
The Lambda Chi Alpha chapter hosted their 4th annual Watermelon Bash on Saturday to raise money for Feeding South Dakota, a nonprofit organization that fights hunger throughout the state. Lambda President Griffin Peterson says their partnership on the national level has inspired them for their work.
Our national fraternity is actually partners at the nationwide level with Feeding America, and so our chapter decided back when we were founded, really, and when we started this partnership with Feeding America, to benefit Feeding South Dakota, as they're the statewide chapter of that organization.
The afternoon included a series of events such as the watermelon toss, eating contest, and tug of war. Teams could pay $5 to participate. Out of the 3 teams, the Phi Delta Theta chapter came out on top. Peterson also says that the event had a great turnout.
We did a little bit of pre-fundraising so we could cover some of the costs of the event and make sure that we could take as many of the proceeds here and put them towards a great cause. So we raised $1,500 in the lead up to this event, and we're hoping to raise another $2,000 from this event total.
Participants could also pay to eat the supper that was served after the events were finished, and they could pay an additional amount to smash 1/8 of a watermelon. For Coyote News, I'm Addie Sporletter.
This was Lambda's main fundraising event for the spring. Planning for their fall event is already underway. Other campus charity events are happening this week, mostly involving food. Kappa Alpha Theta is hosting their spring fundraiser, where students can get a soft pretzel bar with a variety of dipping sauces. Tickets are available beforehand and at the door. Proceeds will go toward the Southeast Court appointed Special Advocates, or CASA, and the Theta Foundation. Beta Theta Pi's annual Beta Burgers is next Wednesday night at 5. The event takes place at the Fraternity House, and proceeds go to supporting Yankton's Heartland Humane Society. More information can be found on USD Involved. Violin and viola players took the stage last night to share their talents. The Arioso Chamber Players are a group dedicated to commissioning and premiering new works. The group was founded back in 2023 under the artistic direction of Dr. Ioana Galu. The performance at the National Music Museum featured instruments from the museum's Consulosi collection. A list of future music museum performances can be found on their website.
From student-run productions to stories about classic novels, the theater department has announced their shows for the 2025-26 season. Gilgamesh, the Assyrian epic, sorta, is written and directed by Ryan Bernier for his Master of Fine Arts thesis. The title is a work in progress. Baby, I'll Turn the Sky Green for You is a play about environmental climates, and Bright Star takes place in the hills of Appalachia in the 1920s and 40s. The spring semester kicks off with Godspell, a musical based on biblical gospels. The Ron L. Moyer one-act plays will take place in March, with the season ending with a production of Pride and Prejudice. More information about next year's season can be found on the USD Theater's Instagram page. Action, spies, and comedy. The theater department's latest project is about a man on the run. 39 Steps follows the story of a man who's pulled into a conspiracy beyond his wildest imagination. Students have been building sets and designing costumes to prepare for the show. While the actors bring the production to life, they're led by director Dan Spiropoulos.
What's unique about the show is there's a lot of things you don't expect to see in theater happening in the show. We have a lot of physical stunt comedy. The typical things you might expect in a film, we incorporate on the stage.
The 39 Steps is a comedic adaptation of the 1950 novel and 1939 Alfred Hitchcock film of the same name. It hits the stage tomorrow and runs through Sunday at the Knutson Theater. Tickets are free for USD students with their student ID.
Native American culture traditions are on full display this weekend. The 51st annual Wachipi celebration is a powwow that celebrates Native traditions, dances, and songs. The first USD Wachipi was held in 1971. Since that time, it's become the longest-running student and campus powwow in South Dakota. Grand entry starts at both 1 and 7 on Saturday at the Sanford Coyote Sports Center. There's an additional grand entry on Sunday afternoon at 1. All are welcome. Next, on Coyote Sports, track and field hosts their first home meet of the outdoor season.
And the tennis team defeats Creighton at home.
Could I get a triple jelly donut extreme?
They have just left the building.
Tune in weekly to Triple Jelly Donut Extreme to hear three friends host civil debates on the biggest video game topics. Listen in on 91.1 KAOR. Triple Jelly Donut Extreme, a show you won't want to miss.
Do you feel tired and anxious at times? Do you feel like you can't focus on your school assignments? Exercising might be your solution. It helps you feel less anxious and gloomy. You can relax better and you suffer less from stress. You will get more energy, sleep better, and find it less difficult to remember all your courses. So move your body and be your own change.
This is Coyote News.
State rivals match up in softball. This is Coyote Sports, and I'm Maggie Bishop.
And I'm Parker Orr. Women's golf wins their meet in Omaha. Track and field hosted the early bird meet at Lillibridge Track Complex. Between the 2 days of competition, USD earned 20 individual victories. The Coyotes swept 5 events podium spots with the women's 400, 1,500, pole vault, and the men's 200 and 800. The team stays home for the South Dakota Challenge this weekend. USD softball played its first road conference games against SDSU. South Dakota took Game 1 9-5 behind Clara Edwards and Autumn Iverson hitting their second home runs of this season, and Edwards picking up the victory. Tatum Vallada earned her 200th career hit in the game. Former USD pitcher Maddie Mangalis claimed the victory for the Jackrabbits in Game 2, 8-5. SDSU also won Game 3, 4-3. The team is leading 2-0 against Drake currently in Game 2 of a doubleheader after beating the Bulldogs 3-0 in Game 1.
The soccer team played 2 exhibition matches at the First Bank in Trust Field as they continued their spring schedule. The Coyotes played Briarcliff in Game 1 and Iowa Western in Game 2 of a doubleheader. The USD won both Games 4-0 and 2-0. These games won't count towards any stats for the team. The team is on the road this weekend in Omaha. USD Tennis hosted Creighton yesterday, coming off of a loss to North Dakota. The Blue Jays won doubles, getting the first point of the match, before the Coyotes won 5 of 6 singles matches to secure the 5-2 victory in a non-conference matchup. Grace Chaddock won the first singles point as she improves to a record of 14-4.
Coyote News' Nathan Delaney is live in the muck with Chaddock to talk about the team's recent victory. Nathan?
So, Grace, you guys recently just defeated Creighton. How does it feel to have that bigger school come to USD and defeat them?
It feels great, especially not beating them after 7 years, and like being on our home courts and things like that and having our home fans. It's always great to have a win like that.
You are now tied for 5th all-time in Coyote singles victories. What does that mean to you?
It's always great, especially being here for only 3 years, and but it wouldn't be without my teammates that I have today.
With you being here for 3 years, this is your last season playing for the Coyotes. What has been your favorite memory, moment, or experience as a Coyote?
Well, the football games that we have, but for tennis, our spring break trip that we get to spend together every year.
Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you.
Live from the Muck for Coyote News, I'm Nathan Delaney.
Thanks, Nathan. The team has one more regular season match against Denver. Men's golf competed at the Mizzou Invitational, finishing 8th. Joe Rowling led USD, tying for 22nd out of 99 golfers. The team plays at the Brick Boilermaker Golf Complex before going to Mesa, Arizona for the Summit League Championships.
In women's golf, the team competed at the Stampede at the Creek. The team took first place out of 7 teams, winning by 4 strokes over NDSU. 5 Coyotes finished in the top 15, led by Katie Nicola in 5th. The team finishes the season with the Summit League Championships in Mesa, Arizona. Vermilion boys tennis played Madison at the USD tennis courts in their 3rd match of the season. The Tanagers fell 7-2 against the Bulldogs. Tyson Hovden and Hayden Fogelman won in singles 3 and 4 for Vermilion. The Tanagers played Madison again in the triangular, including Spearfish on Friday.
Vermilion High School track and field competed in the EPJ Husky Invite. The boys team won the 4x800 relay. Frankie Orr won the 400, Ian Job won the long jump, and Raleigh French won the discus. They finished 3rd overall with 100 points. The girls team won the 1600 sprint medley, finishing 7th overall. The Tanagers compete in Lenox next week.
That's it for Coyote Sports.
When we come back, we ask students about their own holiday. Stay with us.
Every day, 37 people die. Every 79 seconds, someone is killed.
Love y'all. I'll see you later.
2 out of 3 people will be impacted, and this could all be prevented. Don't drink and drive.
Hey. Can I talk to you about something?
Of course. Is everything okay?
No. Something really bad happened to me.
Why did you go there alone? How much were you drinking? Are you sure you weren't encouraging it? I am so sorry that happened to you. It is not your fault. It took so much courage for you to tell me that, and I'll be here for you in any way that you need.
This is Coyote News.
Imagine being first-time parents at nearly 100 years old. A pair of critically endangered Galapagos tortoises at the Philadelphia Zoo became first-time parents. The pair have had a total of 4 hatchlings so far, with the first egg hatching in late February. The female tortoise first arrived at the zoo in 1932. She's also the oldest first-time mom of the Western Santa Cruz Galapagos species. The zoo plans a public debut of the hatchlings on April 23rd, as well as having a naming contest for the hatchlings. Many people wish they had more of something.
We asked our Instagram followers what's one thing they wish they had more of.
If I'm going to want to buy the Switch 2 and all these new games, Xander, I'm going to have to get more money this summer.
I don't know. I think I'm going to have to go with time. Think about all the extra time I'll get to spend with friends, all that, you know?
So true. What did the people say? It's always money. People need more money. Follow our Instagram page for more weekly polls.
If you could invent a holiday, what would it be?
We asked students exactly that and how they would celebrate.
Here's what they had to say.
National Procrastinators Day, and you would always celebrate it tomorrow.
I'd probably do something with National Disneyland Day, so everyone gets free admission to Disneyland.
Something for those lonely people that can't get a relationship.
National Cheesecake Day, where everyone makes a cheesecake and brings it in.
Maybe I would do a brownie holiday where everyone eats brownies that day.
National Movie Day, and you just watch
a movie with your loved ones that's the best in your opinion, I guess.
Like a dog day kind of thing, and just everyone just does stuff with their dogs.
I'd have to go with like a national skip day. Just everybody skips class that day.
National Red Bull Day, and Red Bull sponsors everyone for the day, and we just do crazy things.
Family Reunion Day.
We should invent a holiday that celebrates people with special needs and disabilities.
Maybe a self-care holiday where you don't go to class or work and you just enjoy yourself.
I think I'm gonna take the girl who said the dog day, but I'm gonna switch it to cats. I think cats live in dog shadow too often.
I think I'm gonna have to say something along the lines of like national just take the day off day. Just chill out.
Yeah, you know, I'd have to do no electricity day, where we can't use electricity and you can only read books, use candles, no electricity, whole day.
Be interesting.
I'm going to have to go with National Picnic Day because I think they're very underrated.
It's true. That's all for Coyote News.
Pick up the volant for a look at the Newman Center's 60th anniversary celebration.
Listen to 91.1 for news updates throughout the week and for your coverage of USD sports.
Don't forget to follow our social media pages for daily updates and the weekly poll. Have a great night.